What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Stand Up Guys Podcast, episode 71. I'm your host, incomparable Zach Jones, joined as always by the Ole Anderson to my Arn Anderson, Lester Jones.
Ole. I used to like Arn Anderson.
Yeah. The old WCW days. All right, and we got a classic intro for a classic man. The Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, licking butts and getting in guts, the ass tasting, time's a wasting, having fun, eating that scrum, the phenomenal one, A.J. Singh.
It's old, but it still grosses me out.
The next one needs to be a gay one.
No, I don't want. We're going to send too many messages to people. They're going to think I'm all over the place.
I mean, I did have the double penetration one a couple weeks ago. So that's at least is involving more men. So, all right. What did you guys do this week? Anything fun?
I watched Red Notice on Netflix. That movie.
I said anything fun? No. I heard that movie was bad. What did you think of it?
It's exactly what you expect from Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. Like, you know, they do the whole buddy comedy thing, and do they want to be partners? No, but they have to do it, and it was just
kind of one of those mindless action movies you can put on.
Yeah, it was just silly. It wasn't a story that you are going to get invested in or anything. It was just okay to watch.
It finishes with hardcore sex between them.
I mean, Gal Gadot was in the movie. I wish there was something with her, but otherwise, no. There's like one scene where she like kind of pops off and like yells a little bit, and she does not look like she does that in real life. Like, she did not pull that off. Yeah, that's all that. And then I saw like just today on the way here, like before I came here, I saw this video from like the New York Post. Like, I think it was a few years ago, 4 years ago. They did this sugar daddies, dating sugar babies, whatever, you know, like girls. So this girl did the interview with the Post, and she talks about how she doesn't want to date like dumb, broke 22-year-olds anymore. She wants to date like a wealthy, smart, intellectual person. And she's an idiot. Like, you can tell by the way she talks, she's an idiot. But so this guy, she goes on a date with, he's like 54, 55, maybe older. And, you know, she's like, yeah, he seems sophisticated and nice and great, and I think we can get along. And he's like, oh, she's fat and she's gross. And like, it's two different stories. And I'm just like, man, if that girl, if she definitely saw this interview later, and she must have been like, I'm over here saying all this nice stuff about this guy, and he's shitting on me like crazy. He was like, I don't want to say she's fat, but she's chunky, and you know, this is all kinds of stuff. He just went in on her. Yeah, it was bad. So that really made me laugh for a while.
What about you? You got any stories or things you've been watching?
I don't even remember. Once again, I do not remember this week.
I know you've been watching Harry Potter.
Yeah, I've been throwing Harry Potter on in the background, lounging around. It's been an uneventful week.
I see. Well, we did have like the Thanksgiving holiday, right?
Right. Which was basically a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my big news for this week is I was finally able to snag a PS5.
Oh.
Got it delivered yesterday.
Okay.
I haven't really had time to do much, and I won't really until this weekend. Yesterday I played just a little bit. It comes with this game installed on it called Astro's Playroom. Yeah, which basically is just designed to kind of show off the controller, and it is kind of cool. Like it's still like a vibrating controller, but it's has a little more detailed stuff it can do. So like there's a scene where like it starts raining and you can kind of feel like raindrops, and then it rains a little harder and stuff. And then there's like a part where he gets wrapped in a tornado, and you can it makes the motion feel like it's going like around in your hands in like a circle. So it has like triggers where they can make the trigger.
This feels like harder. A real dildo.
Yeah, exactly. But
how did you pay like normal price for it? Or did you have to overpay for it?
No, I paid normal price, but what I did is
yeah, there was a small fee.
Well, yeah, I guess so. So like there's like Twitter accounts you can follow that kind of give you the heads up of when they're like, restocking in places. And so I've been following one of those, but the problem has been that like they're always restocked like during the hours that I work. So, I don't have time while I'm working just to like keep following Twitter, But the Monday before Thanksgiving, probably like a week before that, like they gave the heads up that Walmart was going to be stocking on that day, or because Walmart advertised like their Black Friday deals for that day. And like it said, like Walmart Plus members get access at such and such a time, and then regular people get access like 4 hours later. Where I was like, well, there's no fucking way there's going to be any left 4 hours later or whatever. So I was like, do I actually spend whatever it is to join Walmart Plus just for a chance at it? But I decided to do it, and it paid off. So the Walmart Plus subscription was like $13 or something. Okay. And then, but at first I was scared it didn't work because I think it was like at noon on that Monday, or maybe 1 o'clock our time. Yeah, I think it was 1 o'clock our time. And like, so I was there on the dot, like hoping, and it instantly was like not available. But it was like, do you want to join this wait list or whatever? So I was like, yeah. So I hit that, and it was like, it started a countdown of like 35 minutes or whatever. But I kept like looking at it, and then after I think about 30 minutes passed, it was like, it came up, there was like one available or whatever. So I was like, add to cart. And I, did it as fast as I could. And luckily I got it in. So,
man, the trouble you got to go through to get one of these things, man.
Yeah. It's an ordeal, but I did.
And Walmart also smart for cashing in on it too. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is a smart idea to be like, oh, you got to be a Plus member, and because I for sure know that I wasn't the only one who did that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you're out there now, you know the key to the mint, maybe.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, there's some parents that are like, these asshole adults who have no kids are buying these all up before Christmas. Just so you know you're in that club.
I mean, there was like, many times before that where like, I'd look at my Twitter account and it'd be like, say, oh, well, during the hours I was working, like Walmart puts them on sale for Walmart Plus members. But it's like I said, like if you have a job during like the normal daytime hours, like you're fucked. if you can't just like look at Twitter all day, and who wants to do that anyway? Just
yeah, who wants to do that?
You been on Twitter a lot lately?
Yeah.
As far as watching stuff, I finished up Cowboy Bebop. Again, like there is a lot of online hate for this show. I thought it was fine. There's a couple dialogue moments that I'm like, that's maybe a little cringy, but overall I thought it was fine. I didn't see what people were complaining about really. And then I started. There's a new animated series on Netflix that was getting a lot of attention called Arcane.
I haven't heard of it.
So I started it. I've watched like 4 episodes, and it is pretty good so far.
Actually, I think I did see it on Netflix, but I didn't like even look at giving it a shot.
Yeah, apparently, like, so there's like a MMO video game called League of Legends that's been around for many years. I never played it because I'm not into multiplayer games. This show is like, I guess, like a prequel to that game world or something. But it actually was getting really good reviews, and I was like, well, damn, I'll check it out. And like, so far, it's pretty damn good. The animation's good, the story's good, so I'm definitely going to check it out more. And then, not a news show, but and I've seen this go on sale many times, but like on Black Friday, they were selling every season of Everybody That Loves Raymond for like $40, and I was like, man, I could go for some Raymond. so I just was like, okay, and bought it. So I've been watching that. I think I've watched probably almost 2 seasons of it.
It'll probably be on Netflix next month.
Well, it's on Peacock, but I was like, I don't want to subscribe to Peacock
it's free. I think it's free
with commercials.
Not sure, maybe
they have different tiers. Yeah, I think they might have like a free one with commercials. that may. But yeah, I can't watch commercials.
Yeah.
They drive me insane. But man, what a show, man! I gotta say, like the '90s for like sitcoms was like a golden era, man. You had Everybody Loves Raymond, Seinfeld, News Radio, Drew Carey Show, Becker, just banger after banger, man. What a time! What a time! So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Guys, anything else before we get into the show?
I'm just surprised you didn't mention Cheers on that list of 90s shows. Cheers was in the 90s.
Cheers went back further than that. It was a long span, though.
Yeah, I think Cheers actually started in the 80s. You know, Cheers is one of those shows that I've heard great things about, but I've never, like...
Never watched?
When I was younger, I think I maybe caught an episode or two, but I never... Because I think my grandma actually watched it a lot. But I just never paid attention to it, really.
Oh. It seems like one of those ones Mom didn't like. If Mom didn't like it, we didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
she doesn't like, what's his name?
Norm.
Becker.
Oh, she doesn't like Ted Danson?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she doesn't like Ted Danson.
How can you not like Ted Danson?
Yeah,
He's awesome.
He seems nice.
Yeah.
Although, like, now that I'm an adult, like, I've been watching a little bit more, like, you know, of, like, Star Trek programs. But I never did as a kid because my mom was just always like, Star Trek fucking sucks. It's the word. Well, she didn't say fucking. She would, but she always hated on Star Trek. So as a kid, I was just like, well, if my mom says it sucks, it must.
Yeah, I watched it in my room. That one I watched.
Like the Next Generation?
The Next Gen, primarily, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only watched a couple episodes of the original with like Shatner, but I've watched a couple seasons of Next Gen now, and like it's a decent show. So don't always listen to your mom about shows, I guess. But when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You know?
You wouldn't have been watching Cheers. Like 8 years old.
I watched it. Gilligan's Island, Cheers, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Gilligan's Island was one that was like one of the few shows in the morning. Sometimes it'd be like, well, there's Gilligan's Island
and Beverly Hillbillies, like back to back. I used to watch those Gilligan's Island, Beverly Hillbillies, and Monsters, the Monkeys.
I don't remember watching Beverly Hillbillies that much. We definitely watched Gilligan's Island. Mm-hmm. I actually remember liking the Beverly Hillbillies movie that they made in the early 90s with Jim Varney.
Jim Varney, yeah. Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider was in that movie?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in forever. And like I don't even know if you can buy it. I don't know. All right, guys, should we get into the show?
Let's do it.
Do it to it, man.
All right, anyone who hasn't watched, we're just going to go around the table, see if we can bring some funny or interesting news stories to the table, and we'll talk about them. And as tradition dictates, AJ, we usually start with you. So what do you got for us?
All right. This happened a couple years ago in China, but I thought it was interesting. It's not clear if this story should be filed under weird crimes or uplifting news. The surveillance cameras tells the tale of a person now being dubbed the world's kindest crook, with the footage coming out of Hunan in China's Guangdong province. That's where the Straits Times reports a woman ID'd only by the last name Lee made a routine stop at a local ATM in mid-February where she took out $375. The closed-circuit TV video shows the terrifying thing that happened next. A man came up behind her, he was later said to have been carrying a knife, and made her give him what she'd withdrawn. But it was when he got greedy that he had a moment of compassion. After asking to check out her ATM receipt to see how much money she had left in her account, he noticed the balance was zero, which is when, with a grin, he gave her money back and strolled away. The Good News Network reports the alleged robber wannabe, ID'd only as Deng, was eventually tracked down by police. He was still in custody as of Sunday, via the Times. Social media denizens, meanwhile, are still giving him props for being halfway decent about giving her money back.
Ding and dong.
I mean, yeah, he robbed her. But at least he looked at her account and was like, oh, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you go out robbing people, you expect them to have more money than you. But in this case, yeah. He went to robbing, she didn't. But that's the story.
All right, should we roll into manifesto round one?
Yeah, I think this is actually last week's story, but there was a Christmas parade in Wisconsin. And dude just drove through it in his SUV and ran a bunch of people over.
Damn, I didn't hear about
Yeah, I heard
this.
about
But yeah,
that.
like 6 people died and a bunch of people were injured. But here's like the fucked up part. It's like earlier in the month, he'd ran over his baby mama and apparently she didn't die. But like he was arrested for that. He went to jail. They let him out on bail for $1,000
What?
Damn.
after he ran somebody over. Yeah, and then so he comes back and runs over kills 6 more people. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. But there's that, and then they got like reports of him in jail saying he feels like he's being demonized. I was like, what the fuck?
Just for killing a bunch of people,
On a
I'm being
holiday
demonized.
parade.
It is kind of surprising though, because I've heard of other tales of like serial killers and stuff, and they're like they feel like victimized. They play themselves as a victim.
Yeah,
Like,
because
Jesus.
they're their own narrator, you know?
Yeah.
In their own minds, they're the hero of the story.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Did they give like a motive for this guy? Was he like a political? Was it politically motivated? Just a nutcase? They don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really, it's just basic aggression. Doesn't have any like MO.
Golly. Man. I don't know. I saw that reminds me of like these videos I saw of people pretending to be insane to get out of murder cases, like charges. And like the funny thing is that like when you try to pretend you're insane, you end up going to a worse place than a normal prison.
Pretty
Like-
much, very few people get off on being insane.
Yeah, it's hard. And I mean, the benefit of it is there is no benefit. Like, so you avoid the death sentence, but the place you end up is terrible. Like, it's torture just being there if you're not insane. So, like, yeah, these people, and then you see, like, how they break down, like, them trying to act crazy. And, like, it's like they saw a TV show or something. They're just like, oh, when the cop is
Yeah.
around. And then when the cop is gone, they act differently. It's, like,
Yeah, it's
I don't know. I mean, this guy.
like even if you are crazy as shit, like I don't know how often that goes over,
Well, they did an interview with an actual person they said was psychotic, and like they don't act crazy. They'll tell you exactly what they did, and they'll tell you what they should do, like what should happen to them. They'll be like,
Right.
"I should get the death sentence." You know?
Right? Yeah, they have no like.
Defense mechanism.
Right.
Yeah. Which is weird to me, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I got a more uplifting story for you guys. So you guys have heard these stories where, like, people have big potholes in their road, but they can't get the government to fix them.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, he came up with a pretty clever idea. Potholes get repaired after protesters spray paint schlongs around them.
I think I've seen that before.
Locals will yeah, this was from a couple years ago, but it's the first I heard of it. Locals are praising a protester after 2 potholes were repaired, claiming it's all thanks to some spray-painted willies that highlighted the issue. Images of the potholes, which had reportedly been in the road for roughly a year, had been on a Facebook page dubbed T-Side Connected, with a black penis shape and one red one seen encircling 2 potholes. This page is an update. Later shared a picture from a resident named Brad Nicholson, who had shared the power of the willy, repaired this morning. Only been there a year. Well done, Middlesbrough Council. Other locals praised the unconventional way of problem solving, with one posting, "Wish I had that idea myself. My area is shocking." Another wrote, "There's going to be a penis on every pothole now." Someone else commented, "T-side is going to be full of willies. Watch this space." A third meantime quipped, "Where there's a willy, there's a way." A Middlesbrough Council spokesman stated, Middlesbrough, like all local authority areas in the county, has issues with potholes, and repairs are carried out on a priority basis determined by the risk they pose to highway users. Currently, however, we are carrying out pre-planned works in the Acklam area, and staff were able to visit the nearby site on Fane Grove when the matter was reported to us and have patched over the hole. Whoever pulled off the feat pretty much followed in the footsteps of famous street artist Wanksy. Wanksy has said potholes are very hard to see. You tend to forget about them until it's too late. But draw a big yellow willy around it, and you can't help but notice and hopefully avoid it too, saving the vehicle from damage or the rider from injury. Usually the council with will either notice it or it actually gets reported and then gets repaired. Happy days.
So now you know what you got to do.
Well, I saw this like 10 years ago in a TV show. It was called The League. And one of the characters, like, he said, "Oh, you got a pothole. How do you want to fix it? Just draw a swastika on the pothole." And,
Okay, so these guys were like, I don't want to do the swastika, but it tickle. Or,
yeah.
yeah, this happened in 2019, this story.
So, I mean, maybe he watched the show or something because or great minds think alike. I don't know.
I saw one too where I vaguely want to say it might have been a Canadian guy, but basically he was going around filling the potholes himself, and he's and he just put up a sign like, "Don't pay your taxes, pay me." Or something.
You know, it is good motivation because then the government not only has to fix the pothole, they have to erase the penis. So
Yeah.
it's like, you want more work for yourself, or do you want to fix the pothole? I wonder if we could get them to do more stuff.
No, the government's so cheap, they'll just change policy. They'll be like, penises are normal, get over it.
There's
They're
so much
fine.
graffiti around here right now. I don't think they'd even like. They'd be like, yeah.
Well,
Another
yeah,
penis.
graffiti-wise, I'm sure there's graffiti dicks all over the
Yeah.
place. It amazes me, like, how much graffiti there is. You take a ride, and you just, like, you're like, it's everywhere. It's like, how do these people have time to put it everywhere?
It's amazing where they get that graffiti.
That, too.
Like underneath like an elevated train track or something.
yeah,
It's
or, like,
nuts.
yeah, or, like, the underside of overpasses and shit, and it's like, how did you even do this?
A Spider-Man out there doing this shit.
Man, back to the potholes though. It kind of reminds me. Do you remember like the very first? Like my parents, when I was still in high school, bought a car for me to use because the one before that broke down, and this one had a stick shift, and I had never drove stick shift before. So like he took me out and was teaching me to drive stick, and we were driving up in the mountains because not a lot of cars or whatever up there is a good place to learn. But we're going, and there's like this corner, and I think there was a sign that said bump. It just said bump. And we go around it and fucking bump my ass. There was like a trench in this fucking road, and we just go boom, boom. And the car gets a flat tire. We end up having to walk back to our house, which is probably, I don't know, like 5. I don't know how far would you say that is? At least 5 miles, probably.
It was we probably walked more than that.
It could have been more than that.
And it's always like whenever you do that, like nobody thinks to come looking for you until like you've been missing for like 10 hours.
Yeah, yeah, they weren't going to show up. And I remember at that same that walk back, like you ended up having to like take an emergency shit.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
And I don't know what you used to wipe. I think you might have had to like give up
The
your
old
underwear,
shirt sleeve or underwear or something.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, bump. That was a little more than a bump. Like it should have said "turn back now." Fuck, bump my ass. Jesus Christ.
Got to derail those backwoods moonshiners and meth makers.
Yeah.
It's like we got another one.
I hit a bump in Portland here like that doing DoorDash. Like I was going behind this business and the road seemed fine. Like it seemed flat.
Yeah.
Then I drove through it and it was a huge, like probably not as bad as yours, but like this was all concrete. So I felt it like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my God, how does that exist? How does such a huge, it was like the size of the road.
Yeah.
Well,
There's some weird ones in Portland where like it's paved streets and then like your GPS will try to make you turn and it's like this street's paved, that street's paved, but like the street in the middle in between is not paved. It's just dirt and it's got
Yeah.
like giant holes in it and you're like, how are they not fucking paving this?
yeah, like when we can't, like Houston is ugly in a lot of ways, but the infrastructure, like the building is there,
Right.
they've got that. Portland is the opposite. Like it's beautiful, but like there's the built infrastructure here is terrible, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they got a lot of regulations and stuff. Maybe over time they'll like improve upon it. I don't know.
Alrighty, AJ, story number 2.
All right, this one explains like the scheming that goes into some people's minds. A phone call probably would have sufficed, but no, a woman who wanted to get in touch with her ex-flame took it one step further by staging a wedding. A video posted by a TikTok user, Shocklin, details the faux wedding, a professional photo shoot complete with a photographer and fake husband, which she hoped would get her ex to text her back. The video went viral, gaining more than 1.5 million views. Remembering the time I faked my own wedding and had a professional photo shoot so he would reach out, reads the video caption, showing the woman face-palming herself, seemingly regretting the entire scenario.
That seems like it wouldn't work for a man, but it would work
on a woman.
Yeah, if you were a dude and you set up a wedding.
Yeah. She'd go nuts.
Yeah, it seemed like it'd be.
Yeah.
I think most guys would just be like, well, good riddance.
Yeah.
So much for that crazy bitch. Good luck, dude.
Obviously, this just proves how crazy she is. The video showcases various photos of the faux bride posing in a white gown by herself and by the side of her husband. All the polished images look like they could grace the pages of fashion magazines. Worst part is he watched my story and still didn't reach out, the woman captioned in the video. The elaborate play that backfired gained support and detractors from TikTok viewers. The New York Post reported, my toxic trait is that I see nothing wrong with this, one person wrote. Why would he reach out on your wedding day, stated one skeptic. One supporter wrote she actually tried a similar stunt and her ex reached out to stop the wedding while proposing to her. All it takes is just the right amount of crazy, ladies, she wrote. I mean, the fact that it worked once, I mean, that guy, I don't know. Maybe he had, like, strong feelings for the person, and maybe they had some sort of different relationship, but this lady sounds like she was crazy. Like, going through all that trouble to hire a photographer, get a fake groom, you know, like, that costs money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, just for the fake wedding, you're spending at least like a few $1,000s, right?
I mean, if you got photographer, yeah, that's usually probably anywhere 1 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, even if they rented the dress and stuff, I don't know if you can, but
And like, like, how did she think this was gonna end? Like the guy was gonna contact her and be like,
"Oh, hey." You can break up with that guy now. I'm ready.
yeah.
and she's like, "You're in luck. It was all fake. It was all an elaborate ruse, and I caught him."
If he comes back, then you have to keep it up for the rest of your life.
It was such a dumb plan.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know, man. This is what people were doing before smartphones, though. Like, before people had smartphones, they had all day to think about stupid, crazy shit to do. And they did it. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine what people have done in the past that was just ridiculously stupid, but they, like, schemed and strategized and everything to do it. Like, they put in all this time and effort to hire a photographer, and
Yeah.
man, I just, to have a fake husband, all that stuff, like, I don't know. That's wild. People without smartphones are dangerous, I think. Even with smartphones, but without smartphones, yeah, that's why we have school. That's why we have all this stuff to babysit kids, to make sure they don't go out and get into trouble. That's why people have jobs, all this stuff, so people don't do this.
I don't know. Yeah, you got to have some money and just obsessive. Huh.
Yeah.
You should hire her as like a salesman, though, right? Because she's going for it. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to stop harassing the shit out of you until you buy something.
That's true. Because it sounds like the guy wasn't responding to her, so she was already messaging him.
Yeah.
Then she went and pulled this stunt so he would respond to
You need
her.
to get some jealousy.
Yeah.
Throw some fuel on this fire.
No. It didn't work.
You know what I always thought would be funny? Is to like take some goofy pictures of yourself and then go to stores that are like selling picture frames and then change all the stock photos to your photo.
This costs me a lot of time and money, but it's hilarious.
It would be funny.
Sir, what are you doing?
But yeah, this ruse this woman cooked up, so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how she expected it to work. Although, just imagine if it did work and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, the other lady said it did work, and that's just shocking to me. Like, she must be lying. Because, first of all, two people had the same stupid idea,
That's true. Like
Like a
I
fake
can't
wedding to
imagine
get
it
his
working.
attention? That seems so extreme.
I mean, maybe if it was like a supreme like narcissist, it's like, how could you possibly find somebody that isn't me?
That's true, yeah.
That's true. Like, there probably are some people that it would work on. So maybe that she just knew that her ex's personality type really well.
Right.
And was
If
like,
they're like two people who had crazy on and off and just constant fighting. Like
yeah, she was
those
probably
types.
like, "There's no way this doesn't work."
Yeah.
Okay, I could maybe see that. All right, I guess we're on to manifesto round 2.
This one kind of fucked up. Tucson, Arizona. So this cop is like, he's having a confrontation with this like 60-year-old guy in like a hover round, and so they're fighting or something. You can't really tell. It's supposed to be on like CCTV or something. And like, so the old guy apparently just ignores him and decides to go into this hardware store. And this cop's like yelling at him. He just ignores him. The dude shoots him like 9 times in the back. And there's other like customers and shit roaming around.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that guy, that police officer, got fired.
God, man.
It's like, Jesus.
We shouldn't laugh, but at this point, what can you do? You know,
It's like you're shooting an old man in a fucking wheelchair
a 60-year-old
9 fucking times.
I heard about this. I heard that the guy like might have stolen like a toolbox or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's an asshole. Old
Yeah.
people can be assholes, but
Yeah,
I mean,
shooting him in the back 9 times.
yeah,
When he doesn't present any danger whatsoever.
yeah, he's just like ignoring you and rolling away.
So have they already done this case and they're not going to like prosecute the
He
guy?
said he was fired for excessive force.
Well, he was probably fired first, and then,
Oh, but-
you know,
Yeah, he
Because
just,
I was
I
like-
said he was arrested.
I was like, especially if this
Maybe.
is on a security tape, I don't see how this guy can like go free.
cops have a strong, powerful union.
It's true, but I mean, Jesus.
I mean, they got to the point where like they almost have no liability for what they do out there. Like,
I know that one guy. I mean, they got it. It was only because there was like video evidence and like basically everybody turned on him. You know, the guy that put his
Oh,
knee on
yeah.
the one guy's throat or whatever.
yeah,
I'm blanking on the name right now, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. How am I forgetting this too? It was in Minneapolis. I know that.
But yeah, just insane shit. I don't know how you shoot an old guy in a wheelchair or whatever he was in 9 times and be and also like, even if you were gonna shoot him, you have to empty the full clip.
Well, right. They also have like the taser guns. You know.
I mean,
He didn't need to do that either.
I mean,
That would have
if the
been
guy-
excessive.
If the
he
guy's
could
an
have just
asshole,
put
I mean,
his
you tase
foot
him,
on the
fine.
wheel and stopped him. Boom.
Well, I think it was like one of the motorized ones, but
Oh, was
still,
it?
it's not a. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know if he might have a gun or something, so you could tase him, but even if he's like a piece of shit and he's a shoplifter and, still.
Yeah, craziness. Was that it on that one?
Yeah.
Well, AJ, I also have a story of a crazy lady in a wedding. Maid of honor stuck with 99 dead goldfish after bridezilla's idea goes terribly wrong. For most weddings, the maid of honor is a coveted role. The chance for the bride to show her sister, childhood friend, or BFF how much they mean to her, and for the maid of honor to return the favor by helping the wedding to run as smoothly as possible. Or at least that's the theory, but in this era of the bridezilla, being a maid of honor can turn out to be more of a burden than a blessing, as this woman found out the hard way. Apparently, the bride-to-be loved animals, particularly fish, and is an on and off-again vegetarian.
Add a little more irony to the story.
And she's a PETA supporter for
Oh
more irony.
God.
So she decided her special day wouldn't be complete without goldfish bowl centerpieces for the tables, which doesn't sound too extreme. However, the bride also decided that the unlucky goldfish would be her wedding favors, and each guest could take one home at the end of the reception.
Nobody fucking wants that.
What a burden you'd be putting on people.
Basically, the plan was to give everybody a fish in a Ziploc bag and then, like, everybody just throw them away.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, the maid of honor was worried about the welfare of the animals, as well as pointing out not every attendee would be keen on adopting a new pet, or any of them, but the bride dismissed her concerns. In fact, the bride's only issue was that some of the fish might not survive the ceremony and after party, and asked her friend to be on floater duty. She claims the bride told her, that can be your job during the reception. Just keep an eye out for dead ones and replace them before anyone notices. They're called feeder fish for a reason. They don't live long. Everyone knows that. We'll buy them that morning. They only need to survive through the reception. So throughout the event, the maid of honor spent the majority of her time on dead fish watch, keeping an eye on all 40 centerpieces. As you can imagine, many of the unfortunate goldfish didn't make it, and she had to replace several. But that's not all. As the maid of honor predicted, most guests didn't fancy taking a fish home at the end of the night, meaning she was stuck with 80 goldfish nobody wanted. She continued, "Isn't it strange how not a single guest was willing to take home some goldfish? It couldn't have helped that the bride didn't think to provide containers for them. So will the bride and groom be adopting these 80 goldfish plus about 10 spare still in the back swimming around in the giant bag from the pet store? Alas, they can't. They're headed off on their honeymoon. Such a shame. Gotta go now. Bye." With that, they were gone. Now I was literally the only person from the wedding left in the building. The host still needed their globes back. That night, I strolled into a big box pet store in my big, floofy red satin floor-length gown, heels clacking on the tiles, and purchased a big-ass rectangular tank, a filter, and some fish flakes. A few were dead by the time I got home, and more the next morning. More again in the afternoon, and the evening, and the next morning.
Oh,
By the third day, we were down to 5, and we lost one a day after that until there was only one left. And that last one, 5 years. I named it Sun. It lingered for longer than my friendship with the bride and far longer than her marriage.
Should have named it Highlander.
Dang.
Yeah, there can only be one.
Yeah,
It lasted
that
5
fish
years.
is the one.
What insanity, though, to be like, oh, yeah, all these guests will be fucking okay with bringing a goldfish home. Like, nobody would, in their right mind, would think
nobody
that.
wants I read one. I think this is like an older thing, but this woman like planned to have like thousands of butterflies released, at the ceremony, and like they had them all in like nets or whatever up at the roof, and they were just gonna come down and like fly around, and it's gonna be this big beautiful thing. Well, like apparently like it was hot up there with the lamps and stuff, and so they all died.
Oh, no.
And then they just like rained down dead butterflies on everybody.
Jeez.
I was like, that's pretty terrible.
Yeah. God, people just need to stop messing with animals. We have fish at home, and we want to get rid of them too. Like give them out to like a pet store or something because, we lost one during the move.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't want to lose any more. I think just leave them alone.
I want to see like a magician have to like take dead doves out of his sleeve.
You ever watch Arrested Development?
Not really, no.
Well, one of the characters, he's a magician. He had like that scenario. He's trying to return a dead dove to the pet store.
All right. I guess, AJ, it's your go again.
All right. Let's see here. All right. That one's kind of wild. All right. A Guatemalan stowaway hidden in the landing gear compartment of an American Airlines jet survived a flight on Saturday from his home country to Miami, where he was turned over to U.S. immigration officials and taken to a hospital for evaluation. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency confirmed the incident in a statement initially cited by Miami-based television station WTVJ, which posted video taken of the man at Miami International Airport shortly after the plane landed. The video, attributed to the social media page Only in Dade on Instagram, showed the stowaway appearing dazed but otherwise unharmed, sitting on the tarmac beside the plane, dressed in blue jeans, a t-shirt, jacket, and boots, as ground crew personnel tended to him and asked if he wanted some water. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers at Miami International Airport apprehended a 26-year-old man who attempted to evade detection in the landing gear compartment. Oh, I guess it's just repeating. Compartment of an aircraft arriving from Guatemala. He arrived. He went to the hospital for medical assessment. Yeah, it just says like a lot of people are migrating. The trip was about 2.5 hours, but a lot of people are migrating from Guatemala.
Yeah, I remember I actually did a story about this on the podcast several months ago, like, because there was a guy that died doing it. And it said, like, over the years, there's been a lot of people that tried it, but most of them do die. Like, they either get crushed or they get frozen to death. I think a lot of them freeze to death because it's so cold, you know. So, yeah, it's definitely a dumb idea. Most people die when they try it.
Yeah, I'm just shocked anybody can like possibly survive even a 2.5 hour trip. That's nuts. Yeah,
I guarantee he was fucked up.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just the things that people will do, man, to get out of there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that around the world.
Yeah, with Afghanistan too, right? When the Taliban came in, like people were jumping on planes like the outside of them.
Yeah. They had that video where there was like a plane taking off and guys were like trying to, jump on it and go.
Have you guys been watching that thing between like, what is it, Belarus and Poland?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
No.
Like, I guess, I don't know if people are fleeing from like the Middle East and Asia and like they're going through Belarus to get to Poland, but Poland is like, we will not accept anybody. So they've got up all this like concertina wire and all this shit, and people, armed people with guns and stuff. But like on the other side, like the Belarus government is somehow like pushing behind them, and it's like it's this weird dynamic because apparently Belarus is doing some kind of like stuff that like America and other countries are putting sanctions on them for like human rights abuses, and they're kind of like trying to transfer the image by like they're pushing this and they're like saying, well, Poland's like an asshole or something. It's weird. I don't fully understand it. Like I was wondering if you guys had heard anything about it.
No, I haven't.
I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about that. I mean, we've been hearing about the Syrian refugees like flooding into Europe and other places, right?
Well, that might be part of it. Yeah, but Poland is not having it.
Yeah, I mean, Poland I think is pretty like conservative, right?
That'd be my guess.
I know Hungary had like a conservative leader become president, and some other countries in Europe too. Poland might be one of them. I know they had like some bullshit little altercation with another country. One of their neighbors, like their army went and settled like a few miles in the wrong direction.
Oh, there's always like one of those.
Yeah,
it's like some guy moved a stone, and this is a French territory.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a story several years ago where like Germany offered to like take in a bunch of refugees. I'm not sure exactly, but I feel like that was a story.
Yeah, maybe. It's like the I mean, there's other places in Europe there are, well, they're at least very staunch about taking Muslims in.
I think Canada takes in a lot of people too, right?
I mean, possibly. I don't know.
I know there's a lot of like people born outside of Canada in Canada, like a lot of foreigners, immigrants.
But it's going to be hard for those people to make it to Canada.
Yeah.
It's take a lot of swimming.
Unless those countries start doing, how like some states will greyhound the homeless. They'll be like, we'll fly you to Canada.
Well, that's how America and Australia started.
Well, Australia was like a little different because that's where they put all their unwanted
They said it was straight up like prison colonies.
Yeah. Penal colony.
So what's the origin of New Zealand?
I mean, I know it was colonized by the British and they did horrible shit to the natives, like a lot of places. But, yeah.
Crazy. Isn't it weird how, like, even though, like, just how, like, language and, like, how the American accent and the Australian accent, like, they're both based from, people from England, but they sound so different.
I feel like theirs sounds more English than ours.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I don't know why exactly, but we did have a lot of immigrants that weren't English.
Well, it's so easy for all of them to do the American accent, and it's difficult the other way. I feel.
I've heard English people do pretty bad American accents.
Oh, really?
Some of them, but a lot of them you can't. They do a really good job. I mean, I'm sure there's Americans that can do really good.
Yeah.
But
It just seems like for them it's like drinking water, you know? Oh, American accent? Boom. And then for us it's like...
Well, they do have like all our TV though too, so
Yeah.
that's true. Like maybe if we just watched a bunch of Australian programming, we'd get better at it.
Yeah.
Does Australia have any good programming?
We got those
Well
Crocodile
fed.
Dundee movies.
It's like I'll watch Crocodile Dundee.
I don't think about that stuff. Yeah, if you go to another country, you got to watch their shows, and maybe they're not as good, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. A fair amount of them. The English-speaking ones probably have American programming.
Yeah, I would think so.
But yeah, you don't really hear about too much from Australia. I'm sure they've had some. There's a few bands. There's a few actors.
I heard about this island off the west coast of Australia where these crabs are migrating right now.
Okay.
And there's like just tons and tons of like it's covered in crabs and people can't drive. And like they even built like these passageways for the crabs to like crawl up and go over highways.
Yeah.
The whole it's just I don't know, it just seems amazing to me. Like they protect these crabs so
It's
much.
good eating.
Yeah.
Eat it while you can.
They say the crabs like take care of the local environment too, so like they're important to their ecosystem.
I just imagine that scene from Futurama where like they all go into the sea to breed, and then it's just
frothy.
like it's all just a big freaking
Zoidberg.
commotion.
All right, manifesto round 3.
Have you guys heard about Hunter Biden's art?
No,
So apparently, like he does art, but
is crack smoking an art?
right. if you do it well enough. But so like he's never had a gallery, but he had this gallery in New York, and like they priced his paintings at like $500,000. And so I don't know. It's like it's creating some like moral, gray areas for the president. Apparently, it's like, you guys are, your son's making a no-name artist is making $500,000 a painting.
I mean that's normal though. Presidents' sons, daughters, they do that stuff.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways where that kind of thing happens. But yeah, it's just like, ooh, I don't know.
So now if Trump does get back into office, you'll see like Eric Trump selling like finger paints.
His footprints.
Making that money. They wouldn't be they would do that. His kids.
I mean, Trump, like they already take money from like their followers, and like they use it for this fund to like fight the election results or whatever, to like bring justice and truth. And like they kept like all of the money. They barely spent any on like the election, like overturning the election results and everything. And like then people found out that they were recurring fees that they were charging like every week or every month. So like they're like, what the hell is this, man? It's like a one-time fee. Trump is
We're still fighting that fight.
Yeah, you gotta keep fighting. As long as people have money, keep fighting.
At some point, yeah, as long as those people are falling for it, I mean, keep doing it, I guess.
Yeah, there's so much backward ass shit
Yeah.
out there. I don't know.
All right. Anything more on that one?
Not really.
All right. Seagulls tripping on acid may pose a danger to humans. Folks have been warned to remain alert due to an uncommonly high number of seagulls tripping on acid after consuming flying ants.
Where do I get these seagulls acid?
Wait, where are these flying ants?
Well, they say quote unquote tripping on acid, so I think they probably don't really mean acid, but yeah, they consume these flying ants. Specialists say the hot weather. Now, this story again isn't current. It was last year. Last summer. Specialists say the hot weather this week has caused a widespread egress of ants, which seagulls love to eat in spite of it affecting their cognitive behavior. The Society of Biology's own Dr. Rebecca Nesbitt notes the insects carry formic acid, which can cause the birds to seem inebriated and forfeit their inhibitions after digesting them. The gulls are mad for them. RSPB's Tony Whitehead spoke in a statement. There have been a massive emergence of the ants over the last 3 days, and there are like little treats for the gulls. They are like M&Ms to them. They go wherever they are. The effects of the crawlers are said to make seagulls fly into moving cars and buildings too. One Exeter motorist told reporters, "I have seen the crushed bodies of around half a dozen gulls on main roads around the city. Normally they fly off before getting anywhere near a vehicle, but they just seem to be getting mowed down. At one specific point in the year, as a result of the Queen's nuptial flight, flying ants are drawn out of concealment in vast numbers. The circumstances for the ritual of mating must include no chance of rain and high temperatures, making the current weather ideal for the ant queen to depart her nest to look for a mate. The colony's matriarch takes flight to locate an appropriate site far away from her abode to prevent inbreeding, then discharges pheromones to draw hordes of male ants. The abrupt appearance of these drones in huge numbers offers a sizable snack for famished seagulls. The natural event can last up to 14 days at a time." So yeah, apparently like these particular ants, they eat them and they get all fucked up, and it just causes them to either like fly into shit or like not move when cars are coming, and they just get...
It's kind of funny when these things exist in the animal kingdom and the animals are just like, shit, yeah, time to get high.
Yeah, it's like, we found something we like here.
Yeah, it does seem like animals like to get high. They go back to it sometimes.
Yeah, we've talked about those like porpoises or dolphins or whatever that'll eat the pufferfish, fuck up the pufferfish to get high, and so yeah, it's definitely like a thing in the animal kingdom. Like humans aren't the only things that get fucked up.
I saw this picture.
Catnip.
Catnip, yeah. I saw this picture where someone planted like catnip all down their sidewalk. And then there's just like 50 cats out there just laying out there like, oh, all fucked up.
All right, AJ, you got another story for us?
I do not. I am out of topics, guys. So if you want to go to the manifesto, that's cool with me.
How much time we got left?
Like 10 minutes. Yeah, man, we're just like railroading stories today.
Man, I think we touched on this one before, but like apparently they made like shoplifting less than $950 a misdemeanor in San Francisco. So now people just go and shoplift. You can shoplift basically $1,000, and it's a misdemeanor. But like on top of this, like the people they do pick up, like they don't prosecute them. So it's just like it's open season to just shoplift pretty much whatever you want. So
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of people, I think in California, like looks like they're just walking out of stores with stuff, and
there's basically no repercussions.
yeah.
I know, like, I remember Walgreens shut down a bunch of businesses there because they were just getting robbed. And I was just like, man, it's crazy.
Well, I heard one guy explain, he worked at Target, he was saying that they let you steal up to a certain amount, and then after that, they charge you with like a felony.
Yeah, but I mean, $1,000? I mean, that's pretty big leeway.
Yeah, it is. Big time. So they are getting misdemeanors at least for this, or are they just walking out?
Well, the thing is, they walk out, and like a lot of these places have security guards, and the security guards won't physically do anything. They'll call the cops. But I mean, you can be gone before the cops get there. Yeah. But I do security, and it's the same in my company. Like we don't, like the security company, they don't want lawsuits.
Right.
Like your orders are not to touch anyone, not to do anything. Basically, you just report. So you're pretty impotent, really. And yeah, kind of a visual deterrent. And I don't know. It just seems like.
So they're like, "What you gonna do about it?" You're like, "Nope, nothing."
Yep. Not a damn thing. You got me. It's like, we'll call the cops. They'll be here in about an hour and a half. Have a nice day. I mean, that's pretty much the essence of it.
It's funny.
Man, I'm running low on stories too, but let's see. Feuding couple throws buckets of urine and feces at one another.
That's a fight.
Should have led with this one.
Police in Wichita Falls arrested 39-year-old Matthew Vasquez after he reportedly threw a bucket of urine and feces at a woman. Shortly after 5 p.m. Monday, officers answered a call at the 3700 block of Hudson for a commotion, according to the probable cause report. When the police arrived, they found the perp, later named as Vasquez, hanging by the curb and the victim seated on the porch of their camper, according to the report. Vasquez claimed he was defending himself from the woman that slapped him several times and was hurling feces at him, according to the report. Vasquez started tossing the victim's belongings outside of the trailer and pushed the victim outside as well, the report stated. The victim attempted to go back in to get the rest of her items when Vasquez pushed her and chucked a bucket of urine and feces at her and her possessions, according to the affidavit. The woman lobbed the bucket back at Vasquez, where he then forced her on the floor and planted his knee on her jaw, according to the report. The cops observed that the woman had blood on her face and in her mouth, and her jaw was misaligned, the report noted. An AMR ambulance came and informed the woman that her jaw was either broken or dislocated, causing her permanent disfigurement, according to the affidavit. The victim declined treatment. Vasquez was detained, taken to jail, and charged with aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. A judge set Vasquez's bond at $10,000.
Just why was it sitting around in buckets?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Like,
I mean,
this is planning ahead. This is premeditated poop throwing.
unless they say this was
Biological warfare.
like at a trailer or something. Maybe it was like a. Maybe it was just like a really shitty place, and instead of like their toilet wasn't working, and maybe they just had like a luggable loo they were shitting in.
You just go in the honey bucket and take a dip.
Oh, you got to throw that out like immediately. Like, go outside and do it.
Apparently, it had some material in it.
Whew. Yeah.
Have you watched Hawkeye #3 yet?
I can't watch that show anymore. Just the first 2 episodes lost me.
Whoa. We're going to have to watch it.
I'll watch it, but it's just, I don't want to watch it right now. If I can wait, that's fine. It just doesn't seem that interesting to me. I don't know if this is a real thing, but on TikTok, somebody posted like, Hawkeye's ratings are low because of woke culture. And I was like, woke culture? Like, what's woke about Hawkeye? Like, he's just...
some people just complain anytime there's like a female in the lead. They're like...
Yeah.
We're giving Hawkeye's job to a woman now?
Or was it just that there's like 2 white people or something?
Some people would probably complain about that as well.
I don't get... No, I think they were saying like the show is too woke.
Oh, it's too woke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like woke is definitely getting some backlash now.
Yeah, but Hawkeye...
Yeah.
I watched the show. It didn't seem woke at all.
It's like Hawkeye was very racist.
Hawkeye just seems like a white guy, man. Seems like he votes Republican. And
regular old white toast.
Yeah. Well, Hawkeye is one of those white guys who says, I don't see color. He would be the guy who says, I don't care if you're green, blue, purple, black, white.
I don't see color because I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere with my white family.
We're all colorless.
Well, there's a podcast I listened to, and like one of the guys on there said he liked episode 3 more than the first 2.
Yeah, I thought I saw like on Rotten Tomatoes it said like the first couple were kind of slow and it picks up pace.
So like WandaVision then.
But it seemed like Rotten Tomatoes, like the general review seemed okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not something I'm dying to watch.
They also said there was like a tease this episode that nobody knows how it's going, but
I already saw the tease.
that possibly they're going to introduce the Kingpin to the show, and then so people are like, "Oh, are they going to maybe, bring back, Vincent D'Onofrio from the Daredevil show.
He was amazing. He made that first
And I was
season.
like, if they do that, I would be infinitely more interested in Hawkeye.
No doubt. If they brought back that's the real Kingpin, in my opinion. That was really good. I like.
They are kind of in a weird spot with those shows that were on Netflix because it's like,
what do we do?
Yeah, what do we do with them? Do we just disavow them? Do we somehow
bring them back in their own timeline? Universe, whatever.
They talk about bringing them back, and like She-Hulk, she's going to be a lawyer. So Matt Murdock was a lawyer. Maybe there'll be.
Is that Natalie Portman's doing She-Hulk?
No, it's Tatiana Maslow's.
Oh yeah, I think you told me that. I don't know why I thought I saw something with Natalie Portman.
Oh, she's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, she's the new Thor.
Right, she's female Thor. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was getting, like, her arms were getting bulky.
Which is weird. Like, I thought they were going to introduce the Gore the God Butcher storyline into this new Thor movie.
I think he's in there. Christian Bale, I think. I think so.
Oh, so he's going to be fighting two Thors, or Jane Foster Thor. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to put it all together, but I think that is the character that Christian Bale's playing.
Okay, I mean, that's a good story. Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah, that's a good comic. You've read that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about them making that into a movie.
All right, we made it over an hour.
Yeah.
Squeak by.
Man, I was like...
I'll have to bring some licorice for the next episode.
Maybe we should have we need to bring back those discussion cards we had before.
We haven't done those in a while.
All right, well, guys, everybody, guys, gals out there who've listened and watched, we thank you very much. Hopefully next week we'll make sure to stock up on more stories. I've been busy this week. Just first of the month is always busy where I work. So, but yeah, if you will, please subscribe both to the YouTube channel and to the podcast on your whatever feed you use. Leave us comments or questions that we can read on air. That'd be great. If you're feeling energetic, leave us a 5-star review. It helps in the algorithm. And go ahead and interact with us on social media, guys. Where can people find you on Twitter?
I am at a name for this too, and that's number 2.
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can, of course, find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Have a good one.